Because if you look around the country, look, there were 7 states with reproductive freedom on the ballot. We won those states. We flipped the Kentucky Supreme Court, kept the Supreme Court in Michigan and Montana, broke the supermajority in North Carolina, no excuse absentee voting in Connecticut, Proposition 8 in California was repealed, the minimum wage and sick leave increase in Missouri, Alaska, and Arkansas, I'm sorry. There were some wins. And even down the ballot, we won Senate race in Michigan, held on to a Senate seat in Nevada, Ruben Gallego in Arizona, helped North Carolina outperform the whole narrative. I mean, there were some big wins that we should celebrate. 3 congressional seats in New York, 3 new members to the CBC, 1 in Oregon, first time ever an African American, 1 in New Orleans, 1 in Alabama. There were a lot of things that did go right, although in totality we lost. I think we can learn from the places that went right and the things that did not go so right. And Councilwoman, look, I hear you. And I hope that you will say to the leaders that you feel like did not visit your community enough or did not give the proper attention to those folks, and let them know, like, this happened or the vote did not shake out in my neighborhood because you did not do enough. And that's how we grow and that's how we learn. Because look, I think we have elections in 2025.
I know. Well, I'll be on, a lot of us, that's when our municipal elections are. I think the reality is in the upcoming elections, we know when people say, "Oh, there was not any money in Ohio," we can be guaranteed for certain there will not be a lot of money in these future election cycles.
Right.
I think we need to be very clear on that, right? And so, even set very realistic expectations on what it looks like to engage when you don't have all of the money that you think. We have people power. How can you utilize people that do care, that are engaging, to then be your voice when you need it to be, right?
Well, to that point, Congresswoman, now there was money raised here in Ohio to help Kamala. I think women by themselves raised like $2 million that they gave to the Kamala Harris campaign. And so if they're, to your point, of us being taking care of what we need to take care of here ourselves, especially knowing the fact that resources will probably be even more scarce coming into the future for us, that's something that I think we have to kind of keep in mind on how we kind of take care of our needs to make sure we're taking care of what we need to do, instead of raising the money and we gave it to the campaign. They had $1 billion, but we still had to pay for yard signs here. I want to make one quick correction. In 2024, we was at 63% countywide turnout. And in 2020, I believe our turnout was at 71%. So
our turnout was 66% this year.
66% this year, and we was at 71. So we did take a little bit of a drop on there. And in that, David, how do you feel the local party is going to be able to get to the needs of the people, like what the councilwoman is saying? She's saying that a lot of the problem that they're having is in the fact that they believe that the Democratic Party locally, now we talk nationally, isn't feeling the woes of us, but right here locally, those people who didn't vote, who took the chance to say, I'm going to use my right to not vote, they did that for a reason also. And we also didn't win all our races. I was pushing hard for African-American men, and the only Democrat who seemed to lost on the bench this round was the only African-American man running for office. So what you say about all of that, Dave?
Well, Darrell Denny, I thought, did a great thing. He stepped up, volunteered to run in that seat. He was outspent somewhere around 7-1 in this county against a heck of a name. Other people refused to run in that seat. Darrell volunteered to do that. He worked hard. I think he finished 51-49, 52-48. So I thought that he ran a good campaign. But we did also increase, one of the things I hear as I go throughout that county is about Black representation on our Common Pleas bench. And so 2 new seats are being filled by Black women in this instance, and that increases the number of Black people on the court by 25%, because 42% of our county is not white, but 15% of our bench is. So we've increased that. I think that Councilwoman House is right. It's hard.